Have you ever been asked to quickly throw together a budget for a project? Does it make sense to use the same approach as when you're preparing a lump sum estimate for a $10 million contract where you've got serious money on the line? In one situation, you want to put something together quickly, not waste too much time, and it doesn't actually matter if it's slightly wrong. The other situation, you need to be precise down to decimal places as there's real money and risk at stake. So today, I'm going to show you the two main estimating approaches. The first one is fast but inaccurate. The second one is slow but precise. I'll show you how to do both and when to choose the right one. So the first method is the top-down approach. This method uses past project data to estimate costs. If project A costs $10 million and project B is pretty much the same, then we can also estimate the project B will cost us $10 million. Pretty simple. We can add accuracy to the top-down approach by adjusting for key quantities and criteria. For example, if project A was 10 kilometers of underground drainage and it cost us $10 million, project B is only 7 kilometers of underground drainage, we can simply adjust by the ratio between the distances and assume the project B will cost us $7 million. So the top-down approach works when you need to prepare quick estimates. You don't want to put in a lot of effort, and fundamentally, it doesn't matter if you're slightly wrong. There's no money at stake. So I would use this approach if you're tendering work for your clients, but they haven't secured the project yet. So you're just giving them indicative budget pricing to help with their tenders. If you're working on some sort of feasibility study, or I also use this approach a lot when you're preparing a bottom-up estimate and you want a broad order of magnitude figure to understand roughly where your estimate is going to sit. So top-down estimating is quick, easy, but inaccurate because it doesn't adjust for the specific site conditions. One thing that does kind of surprise me about top-down estimates, which I've mentioned as not being accurate, is that they actually end up tending to be relatively accurate. Costs are generally pretty consistent between projects, and when you prepare a top-down estimate and check it with a bottom-up estimate, you'll often be surprised how close the two numbers end up being. So the opposite approach, the slow but precise approach, is a bottom-up estimate. Bottom-up estimate is where you build an estimate from the bottom up, piece by piece. So you break the entire project scope down into component pieces using a work breakdown structure. You then estimate the direct costs for each activity. So for each activity you need to complete the project, you need to work out the labor, materials, subcontract, and plant costs associated with that task. And sum all these together, and then you also need to calculate your indirect costs, so the cost of managing and facilitating the works, things like project management salaries, site facilities, security guards, these sorts of costs. Then you sum these together, your direct and indirect, you get your total project costs. On top of that, you need to apply your markups, so your risk and opportunity, your corporate overheads, and your profit margin, which gives you your sell price. Now, this is way more labor intensive because you're working through the entire project scope in detail, but it's also going to be a lot more accurate because you're looking at every single individual task you need to complete the project and working out exactly how much it's going to cost. You should do bottom-up estimating whenever money is on the line. This means live lump sum tenders when you're quoting a job that your client has and they're planning on awarding a project based off your submission, when you're pricing variations and change orders during construction, and basically whenever you need detailed cost forecasting. So in summary, there's always a trade-off between time and accuracy. The more effort you put into your estimate, the more accurate it's going to be. Less effort, the less accurate. Now, a hack I've found is to combine the two together. When you're preparing a quick estimate, you can use a top-down approach, but if there's known scope gaps, you can use a bottom-up approach to address those specific gaps. And the alternative, when you're preparing a bottom-up accurate estimate, first start by preparing a top-down order of magnitude estimate so you roughly know the total project value and where your bottom-up estimate should sit. Gives you an easy way of cross-checking the two to make sure you're as accurate as possible. If you want to dive deeper into estimating and learn the fundamentals, then check out this video next, where we're going to walk you through the basics of construction estimating.